Hey there, welcome to Tim Talks Cooking. I'm Tim, and today I'm making microwave keto mug cakes. I've got a couple of really nice recipes here that I'm going to show you that I have developed after, well, you know what I do pretty much. I do a Google search and I look at a bunch of different recipes, and then I often change them to my own liking, and that's what I've done here today. I've got two recipes for you, but before we get to them, let me talk a little bit about mug cakes. One of the things that I see often on the internet and on YouTube by keto cooks, and I make breads, I make desserts too. See people who make all desserts, all breads, all mug cakes. These are very popular things to make, but you've got to remember when you're on the keto diet, it's a diet. You can't eat everything you want, even if it's low carb. Secondly, you want to check their math. I've seen a lot of people make some pretty serious errors with the number of net carbs, as well as with the calories and some other aspects of their calculations. These calculations are fairly straightforward. I've done them and I've rechecked them, so the ones I'm going to present, I stand by them here. You're going to see them at the end of the video, and they're really low. I've got two recipes for you today. The first one is a little bit simpler than the other one. It is for a coconut flour vanilla keto mug cake. Simple ingredients, easy to put together, done in 2 minutes. You're going to love it. The second one is a chocolate mug cake, also made with coconut flour, and you may be saying, why coconut flour? You use less of it in every recipe, less than you would of almond flour. It has fewer calories, fewer net carbs than almond flour. So when you're making a snack like this, especially if you're on strict keto and you're counting 20 grams of carbs a day and only so many calories, it's really important if you're going to have a snack that it be low cal, low carb, and of course, high fat, so it contributes to your nutrition in the day. This second recipe for the chocolate keto mug cake has a delicious texture, has a little surprise ingredient I think may amuse you later on, but has a lovely texture. It's worth going to a little extra trouble, I think, for this. If you want a little chocolate, we all get that craving once in a while, right? So, tell you what, let's get started. Now, the vanilla mug cake recipe resembles my 90-second microwave bread recipe, and I'll put a link to that up on the screen. It starts off with a tablespoon, that's 14 grams, of coconut flour. To that, we're going to add a half a teaspoon, 2.5 grams, of baking powder. We're also going to need some sweetener, and here I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of erythritol. You add in the amount that you like and use the sweetener that you like for this. Absolutely. I'm going to mix those together with my whisk. Just get them all blended together. This is just like any other cake recipe, really, in that respect. And next, I'm going to add in the liquid ingredients. Here, we're going to start off with a beaten egg. It doesn't have to be that well beaten, but beaten all the same. And as you know, I don't like to leave anything behind, so I'm just going to use my spatula to get every little drop of that egg out of there. It's only one serving, so we want to get all of the ingredients in there. Next, I'm going to add in a tablespoon of melted butter. And again, I'm getting all of it out of my custard cup there. There we go. A little flavoring. We've got a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. In it goes. And coconut flour tends to be a little dry, so I'm going to add in as well a teaspoon of water. Give it a good mix. Make sure you get it really well incorporated. Just takes a second. Make sure you don't have any lumps or any parts of it that aren't well incorporated. And next, we're going to just go ahead and pour this into the coffee cup we're going to use. I'm using my canning funnel here so I make less of a mess. And there we go. Now, for the chocolate mug cake recipe, this starts off with some coconut flour as well, a little bit less. We're going to use here 2 teaspoons, that's 5 grams of coconut flour. In it goes. And next, a tablespoon of cocoa powder. That's 5 grams. I'm also going to add in some instant coffee. This is a half a teaspoon of instant coffee. It's really optional. I think it brings out the flavor of chocolate, so I always use it in my chocolate recipes. There we go. Next, a quarter of a teaspoon, that's 1.25 grams of baking powder. And that's keto baking powder. It doesn't have any cornstarch or anything in it. Next, some sweetener. Here I've got 2 tablespoons of erythritol. You use whatever sweetener you like and whatever amount you like. Do it to taste, as always. And a pinch of salt, of course. Give this a good mix. It just makes it so much easier to incorporate everything evenly if you do it this way. And there we go. And I'm going to set this aside for a moment. Now we're going to mix the liquid ingredients. Starts off with 1 egg yolk. To that I'm going to add in a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. This also helps bring out the flavor of the chocolate. Here I've got a teaspoon of water as well. And here our secret ingredient, a tablespoon of mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is a great ingredient here. It has a really high amount of fat and it's pretty concentrated and it's high calorie without having any carbohydrates. Get it all in there. There we go. Give it a little bit of a mix first. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it makes it nicer to mix together when you do it this way. And next, of course, we're going to add that to our dry ingredients and give it a good stir. There we go. And next, of course, we just have to transfer it into a coffee cup. There we go. And now on to the microwave. Here, as you can see, I put both mugs in the microwave at the same time. Now, if you do them individually, you want to cook them in the microwave. I have an 1100 watt microwave for about 50 seconds. You don't want to overdo it. It'll really dry them out. You could also do it for 45 seconds, check, and then put it back in for 5 or 10 seconds if it's not quite done. For these two, I'm going to set my timer to 90 seconds and keep an eye on it. What you want to watch for here, see how it rises up in the mug? When it starts to fall back down again, that's when it's done, and we're going to get it out of there and get it out of the mugs. Careful now, the mugs are really hot, so use a hot pad. And here's what they look like when we take them out of the mugs. They're really cute. Check this out. There's our vanilla one. Looks like a little cupcake, right? And now here's the chocolate one. Well, all right, let's give them a taste. Let's start off with the chocolate. It really looks great, and it has, it has a wonderful texture. It's very moist, really very cake-like, and I just love the flavor of that. You know, I always add vanilla, a little vanilla, and a little instant coffee to my chocolate recipes. It really enhances the flavor. Love it. Let's give the vanilla one a taste. Very good. Yeah. Always a little bit less exciting than chocolate, but very good. Now let me tell you, it does have a slight eggy taste because it's got a whole egg in it. It's the egg white that gives it that eggy taste. If you're one of those people who don't like that, you're going to want to probably try a different recipe. For me, I don't mind it at all. I think it's delicious. Before we go, I promise you the macros. Here they are. They're really quite good. The vanilla cake has only 190 calories per serving, 1 net carb, really good, right? 7 grams of protein and 18 grams of fat. For the chocolate version, just a few more calories, 200 calories, 3 grams net carb, not bad, right? Still just a few more, 7 grams of protein and 18 grams of fat. I hope you'll try these recipes. I also hope that you will like my video, that you'll share it on Facebook, that you will comment here below, and that you will subscribe to my channel. Helps my channel grow, helps you find my videos. Thanks so much for joining us here today at TM Talks Cooking. We'll catch you next time.